Good afternoon, students. So in the last video, we have seen regarding the cyber regulation appellate tribunal. 7 points already we have studied. So those are establishment of cyber appellate tribunal, composition of cyber appellate tribunal, qualification for appointment as a presiding officer of the cyber appellate tribunal, term of office, salary allowances and other terms and conditions of service of presiding officer, filling up of vacancies, resignation and removal. So we'll continue with the further points of the same. So in that first one, we are going to see the orders constituting appellate tribunal to be final and not to invalidate its proceedings. So no order of the central government appointing any person as the presiding officer of a cyber appellate tribunal shall be called in question in any manner, and no act or proceeding before a cyber appellate tribunal shall be called in question in any manner on the ground merely of any defect in the constitution of a cyber appellate tribunal. So here, central government has issued no any order of appointing as the presiding officer any person. It has to be according to the rules, or it has to be according to the constitution of a cyber appellate tribunal. Staff of the cyber appellate tribunal. The central government shall provide the cyber appellate tribunal with such officers and employees as that government may think fit. The officers and employees of the cyber appellate tribunal shall discharge their functions under general superintendence of the presiding officer. The salaries, allowances, and other conditions of service of the officers and employees of the cyber appellate tribunal shall be such as may be prescribed by the central government. So in this, what they exactly have told is that, so whatever the appointment of the presiding officers or maybe the employee of the cyber appellate tribunal are there, those will be according to the government norms, and they shall discharge their functions based on general superintendence of the presiding officers, and their salaries and terms and conditions will be decided by the central government. Appeal to cyber appellate tribunal. Save as provided in subsection 2, any person aggrieved by an order made by controller or an adjudicating officer under this act may prefer an appeal to a cyber appellate tribunal having jurisdiction in the matter. No appeal shall lie to the cyber appellate tribunal from an order made by an adjudicating officer with the consent of the parties. Every appeal under subsection 1 shall be filed within a period of 25 days from the date on which a copy of the order made by the controller or the adjudicating officer is received by the person aggrieved, and it shall be in such form and be accompanied by such fee as may be prescribed. Next, procedure and powers of the cyber appellate tribunal. The cyber appellate tribunal shall not be bound by the procedure laid down by the Code of Civil Procedure 1908, but shall be guided by the principles of natural justice and subject to the other provisions of this Act, and of any rules. The cyber appellate tribunal shall have powers to regulate its own procedure, including the place at which it shall have its sittings. Second, the cyber appellate tribunal shall have, for the purposes of discharging its functions under this Act, the same powers as are vested in a civil court under the Code of Civil Procedure 1908, while trying a suit in respect of the following matters, namely, summoning and enforcing the attendance of any person and examining him on oath, requiring the discovery and production of documents or other electronic records, receiving evidence on affidavits, issuing commissions for the examination of witnesses or documents, reviewing its decisions, dismissing an application for default or deciding it expand, any other matter which may be prescribed. Then every proceeding before the Cyber Appellate Tribunal shall be deemed to be a judicial proceeding within the meaning of section 193 and 228 and for the purposes of section 196 of the Indian Penal Code, and the Cyber Appellate Tribunal shall be deemed to be a civil court for the purpose of section 195 and chapter 17 of the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. So next is the right to legal representation. The appellant may either appear in person or authorize one or more legal practitioners or any of its officers to present his or its case before the Cyber Appellate Tribunal. Then the limitations. The provisions of the Limitation Act 1963 shall, as far may be applied to an appeal made to the Cyber Appellate Tribunal. Then civil court not to have jurisdiction. No court shall have jurisdiction to entertain any suit or proceeding in respect of any matter which an adjudicating officer appointed under this Act or the Cyber Appellate Tribunal constituted under this Act is empowered by or under this Act to determine, and no injunction shall be granted by any court or other authority in respect of any action taken or to be taken in pursuance of any power confirmed by or under this Act. Appeal to High Court. Any person aggrieved by any decision or order of Cyber Appellate Tribunal may file an appeal to the High Court within 60 days from the date of communication of the decision or order of the Cyber Appellate Tribunal to him on any question of fact or law arising out of such order, provided that High Court may, if it is satisfied that the appellant was prevented by sufficient cause from filing the appeal within the said period, allow it to be filed within a further period not exceeding 60 days. Compounding of contravention. Any contravention under this chapter may either before or after the institution of adjudication proceedings be compounded by the controller or such other officer as may be specially authorized by him in this behalf, or by the adjudicating officer as the case may be subject to such conditions as the controller or other such officers or the adjudicating officers may specify. A recovery of penalty. A penalty imposed under this Act, if it is not paid, shall be recovered as an arrear of land revenue, and the license or the digital signature certificate, as the case may be, shall be suspended till the penalty is paid. The network service providers not to be liable in certain cases. For the removal of doubts, it is hereby declared that no person providing any service as a network service provider shall be liable under this Act, rules or regulations made thereunder for any third-party information or data made available by him if he proves that the offense or a contravention was committed without his knowledge, or that he had exercised all due diligence to prevent the commission of such offense or contravention. So this is what about the today's video. So there are 2 points left in this 5th module. So those 2 points we'll see in the next 2 videos.